by this. And luckily, you know, I know you won't get. This is a beautiful shirt. You like it, yes?
Yeah.
It comes from Hawaii, and I bought it for $6. And I used it when I was talking in Hawaii at the Diamond Head Church. And by the way, it has a problem that I didn't know about. It has a hole under the right armpit, which was discovered too late in life to do anything about it. So if my holiness bothers you, get over it. Today's talk comes from life beyond belief. Everyday living as spiritual practice. How many are actually reading with us on this? It's a great book, isn't it? And we're on chapter 6, which is entitled Letting Life Live. Letting Life Live. I love the symbol of the cross in Christianity, because when I was growing up, I didn't get a lot of the baggage that comes with that cross, because I grew up as a Jew in Great Neck, Long Island. So what I got from the cross was that it was the symbol of our awakening, the vertical access of the cross in the name of freedom, salvation. Freedom and salvation comes from that vertical access of the cross. The energy of our awakening happens when we awaken the mana, prana, chi, the Holy Spirit, the kundal. It lifts up in us. We have these incredible moments of awakening. And then we have our life here on planet Earth, which is called integration. Integration. So in the name of freedom and salvation and integration, I offer myself to my world right now. That's what we're here to do, to embody the truth that sets us free. We've been talking about many moments of awakening to that vertical access of the cross. Last week we said, I am always and already awake. Yes? Say that with me. I am always and already awake. There is a part of your being that is awake, regardless of what's going on in your life. That experience of that wakefulness is meant to be integrated into everything you do with your life, to bring heaven on earth. And Jesus said, my word shall not pass away until heaven and earth become known as one. Yes? That's what we're here to embody and bring to our planet. That oneness, that awakening that's happening everywhere. That awakening, when it happens to us, it's so amazing that it just sort of blows the top of the crown of our head off. That's sort of what she calls in the book, that experience of up and out. You just like, you get it, you know it, you feel it. You go, I got it. I'm bigger than my attachments. I'm bigger than my addictions. I'm bigger than my beliefs. I am existence, consciousness, and bliss. You feel that, and it just makes you feel like you're never going to get caught up or attached again. Yeah? Jack Kornfield, in his book called After Ecstasy, The Laundry, talks about that when he came back, I love that title, after freedom and salvation comes integration. He said he got back from India, from Burma, after meditating for 2 years. He was like in his 20s. He could sit for 2 hours in a full lotus and not move a single muscle. Nothing bothered him or touched him. He felt like, I got it. I am there. I have grounded myself in the truth that shall set me free. You know that feeling. We've all had that, right? That sense of, I am there, I'll never lose it. Maureen and I came back from India. We were there for 28 days 7 years ago. And we both felt as if nothing's going to touch us again. We got it. We are in a perpetual place of knowing who we are. And then we walk into a congregation of 400 people. We've been away for a month and everything hit the fan. Yeah, everything's supposed to hit the fan. It's called life on planet Earth. When Jack Kornfield, in his book, he talks about, I went to go live with my sister because I had no place to live. When I got back, I was a broke monk. I'd been there two weeks, and she says to me, you know, Jack, you're the same emotional infant you were before you went to India, but now you cover it up better. And that sort of showed him the laundry, the long list of what still needs to be worked on. You ain't done yet. You're never done. You bring your wakefulness into everything that you do. You allow it to infuse every action and reaction that you have in the world. One of the big ones she talks about in the book is the need to want to be in control. I want to control my life. How many have a control issue? I want things to work out a certain way. Darn, I have a treasure map. It's my mental picture of what I want. It better turn out right. You know, we're always looking for something to happen in the future that'll make us feel happy in the present moment. And we keep looking for it to arrive, and we find it hardly ever comes in the form that we thought it would and doesn't deliver what we thought it would deliver. That need to control. We all have that. We all take that with us. We want things to turn out a certain way. When you begin to bring your wakefulness and integrate it into your life, you find that you're not in control of your life. There's something much greater going on. What you do have control over is how you respond to what happens to you. This week, in my first lesson summation point, it says, notice how many mind moments you spend mentally trying to manipulate circumstances to match your addictive behavior patterns. Just notice it. Don't beat yourself up for it. How many mind moments do I spend trying to be spiritual, trying to manipulate circumstances to match my addictive programming? And then when it doesn't turn out my way, looking for someone who's to blame for it. Oh, it's the teaching. Oh, it's the church. Oh, it's the government. Oh, it's the economy. There's always a problem. There's always a problem. When we look at what's going on inside of ourselves, we go, oh, that's part of my old programming. I can witness and be aware of that. I don't need to be ruled by that. One of my favorite things that I love to do is I love to assume that I know more than I do about what's going on in any one moment. Anybody relate to that? I always draw false conclusions based upon inaccurate information about what's going on in the moment. I have a master's degree in doing that, especially now that I'm spiritual. I really know what's going on, how great I am, me, myself, and I, and how wrong most of the time I am. My favorite place to work out my truth is the YMCA. I went there, they've been closed for a week, which they do all these great improvements, and they really just do a really nice job with the improvements. I love them. And I walk in, and there's a little kid, 6 years old, sitting at the door, in the front door, and he's passing out this little cloth frisbee, and it says, Venture Church, the church for people who don't like church. And he goes, would you like one? And I said, wow. No, actually I don't. That was weird. And then I walk into the front door where I gotta go by to do my key to get in, and there's this huge table that's set up with all these very nice, happy-looking people, and they're passing out water bottles. Would you like a water bottle? The Venture Church. The church for people who don't like church. Would you like to win a $50 gift certificate at Trader Joe's? Give us your name, your email address, and your phone number, and we will make sure that you get on that list. And he goes, you ready for it? And I'm going, go! Satan be gone! What is this apostolization going on at the YMCA? And so a guy comes out of the bathroom who works at the front desk, who thinks like I do. We're always looking for people who think like we do. And I said, what is going on here? I said, I find this really offensive. I'd like to get a table that says, tune in, turn on, tap into. How about that? I said, this to me is wrong. There's the apostolization happening right here at the Y, where we're supposed to be able to work out together. Christian, Hindu, Muslim, Jew, Baha'i, not be told what to think. Not one belief system, but all of them, all faith traditions. So guess what happened to my workout? It got ruined. I couldn't stop my mind. I was drawing massive conclusions about illusions based upon inaccurate information about what I thought was going on. I didn't see any of the improvements that they had made at the Y. I was too busy fuming in my own judgments and negativities. Do you feel that, what that does to you? And I'm thinking, wow, I'm really getting caught up in powerful, strong opinions. And like Thich Nhat Hanh said, strong opinions cause a lot of suffering. And I was suffering. So then I go to the other favorite place of mine at the end of my workout. Actually, is the reason why I go to the hot tub. I love the hot tub. And sitting in the hot tub is one of my favorite other people who love the hot tub. He's there by himself. And he knows about the one heavenly jet stream that works really good. The rest of them are weak and don't work well. We've talked about that. And on a good day, I'll share that news with people, but most of the time I keep it to myself. It's mine. When I leave, you can have it. And he's on another jet, and I'm saying, Jack, what are you doing on that jet? the heavenly jet stream's empty. He's going, guess what? That week that we were gone, I wrote a little note and said, why don't you fix all the jets in the hot tub? And they did it. Now all the jets are heavenly jets. Every one of them. Oh, he left and I just went, oh, look at this. This is getting my shoulders now. Oh, this one, I knew if it just got, it's as strong as the, what am I making a big deal about? I love the wine. Let go, let God. It doesn't matter. Grasshopper. Let it go. Yeah, I'm just going to let it go. Oh, I got to thank him for this. And another part of me said, you're copping out. You're not stepping forward with what needs to be said in the moment. You're not integrating this into what is being called for now. Maybe you'll be the one to say something that needs to be said. You feel that? And so I sat with that, I grappled with it, and then I decided while I was walking out that I was going to walk into the CEO's office and just tell him how I was feeling. He's a very welcoming, wonderful man. And when I walked in, my mouth was dry, my heart was pounding, and I felt very much filled with attachment. I had a big charge of energy about my opinion about this, but I did it anyway. If you're going to wait to do or say what needs to be done or said, if you're going to wait until there's no charge, my friends, you won't do anything here. The only time there'll be no charge or attachment is when you're in the casket. Look how peaceful she looks. Oh my God, I've never seen her look better. Look at the big smile on her face. Yeah, all attachments are gone. Of course, you're dead. Don't wait. Sometimes you need to step forward with what needs to be said in the moment. I think we're collectively at that moment right now. The idea that more killing will stop killing is an erroneous assumption based upon inaccurate information about what never has worked in history and will not work now. The idea that we will stop killing by killing even more with weapons of mass distraction is dumb. It doesn't work. There must be another way to decide to live on this planet. So we stand strong in that, knowing we don't have control over whether it does or doesn't happen, but we still can bring voice to that. To integrate heaven on earth means to not just go, well, I'll just lay back here and be in the big picture. Well, the small picture says is maybe it's time for you to walk into the CEO's office and say something that needs to be said, right? So it's okay for us to do that, but also not be attached as to whether or not it produces the outcome we want. That's not the point. The point is the change in consciousness. That's the point. That is why we're here, to integrate heaven on earth. Another one of the traps, she says, is the mental idea, a mental picture of how we think things are supposed to be. And then when they don't live up to how we want it to be, then we find ourselves suffering a lot because of it. Holding a mental picture. This is how the why should be. This is how the world should be. This is how our government should be reacting. And having a real strong charge on it doesn't mean you don't speak to it, but when you're lost in the mental picture, you can't be fluid to what needs to be said in the present moment. And you often miss what needs to be heard and don't say what needs to be said. Yeah, because you're lost in how it should look and not how it is now. So in the book she says we waste many mind moments doing that. And she also says that spiritual people have an interesting belief. They believe that, well, since I'm spiritual and I've done my work and I'm in the awakening process, only pleasant, good things should come to me. How many of you have that one? Only pleasant things happen. And if pleasant things happen, well, then I'm working it right. Look at me. Look what I manifested. I just got it down. I'm working the principle. I'm real happy. But unfortunately, on the other side of pleasant things are unpleasant things. Sorry. Yeah. The work is not to only have pleasant things happen to you. Because in time, you'll see that unpleasant things will follow. Opposite side of the same coin. You learn to be present with whatever's going on. In my lesson summation, right from her book, she says it this way. A sign that you're integrating your awakening into your everyday life happens when you experience unpleasant feelings and no longer see it as a sign of personal failure. Yeah. Personal spiritual failure. I must not have worked the principle right. Otherwise, I'd be better at this. I really am bad. Unpleasant feelings are just the other side of pleasant feelings. Both are temporary states of mind that pass away. From that state of awareness, we can still feel the pain, but any remaining mental suffering has less and less of an impact on our overwhelming feeling of well-being. I'm finding, and I know you are, that in my life, I'm being called upon to step forward in the middle of unpleasant situations. Situations that I don't like. Situations that I notice my charges in. Family situations. Collapsing happening all around. Many things that seem solid aren't. I'm being called upon to be brave and step forward and bring the awakening into what's going on in the moment. Not with attachment that be different other than what it is, but just to be there for it and speak to the part that feels like wholeness and oneness in this moment. And be aware of what you can do in this moment to really bring help to the moment. It isn't pleasant or unpleasant, it's just what life is. She likens it to walking on a tightrope, and I really like that analogy, where you walk the straight and narrow path, the Bible calls it. And as you're walking, you keep your balance as best you can. And on one side is separation and fear. On the other side is oneness and wholeness. It's all part of the same business and essence of life. And sometimes you're going to fall into those things that make you feel separate and afraid. They're just there. So then you watch, you notice, you honor what's going on. You notice this is unpleasant and this is pleasant. But what I am in this moment is greater than that, which rises and falls and comes and goes. That's what we're being called upon, to walk that tightrope, to be present for. And not be afraid of noticing our addictive behavior patterns. I'm not going to get rid of them. I'm only going to integrate them and make them part of my life. In the name of freedom, in the name of salvation, we're here to integrate heaven on earth. You wouldn't be here now listening to these teachings if you weren't ready to take that on. Really, you wouldn't be. So, I'm sitting, this is so good, I'm sitting with the CEO, and I really felt like I was in front of my principal. If you ever met him, he's just a doll. I really like him. And again, I'm telling him things that are really, really difficult for me to say. And I couldn't believe it, you know how easily I talk to people. I literally felt like I needed notes. And I went right through it, and I said, you know, I'm really kind of feeling a little weird about coming in and having somebody preach to me when I walk in the door. It just doesn't feel like what the why is about. And it's about Christians, Hindus, Muslims, Jews, all working from many faith traditions to do the work of bringing forth harmony on planet Earth. I've always thought the why stood for that. And I see this and I just feel like, well, why can't I get a table at the front door and pass out my water bottle? Tune in, turn on, tap into the loving presence of the divine. And he goes, fine, sure you can. Yeah, that'll be fine, sure. I went, yeah, that'll be fine. What are you talking about? I have a whole rest of my speech to give you. You're just blowing my speech. You know, that will be fine. He goes, we have what's called Membership Appreciation Week. And so, if you notice, when you come in during the week, different faith traditions are here, and they have a table. And they do what they do. We team up with a lot of people. The Venture Church is meeting at our church, our place. They're using a part of our facility. But we team up with lots of different groups to do all kinds of stuff. Costco is here, and Sam's Club is here. It's all part of what we do here. Certainly you can have a table. Just let us know for the next Membership Appreciation Week, you can get a table all set up. And I said, well, you certainly hushed my mouth. And once again, I had drawn faulty conclusions based upon inaccurate information about what I believed was really going on. And it wasn't true at all. And when I left, I said to him, what I really want to thank you for, this is what I really care about. Thank you for fixing all the jets in my hot tub. I take that very personally. And I said, by the way, I'd like to sit and talk with you some more, but I noticed the guy with the table in the church, he's leaving, and I want to get a water bottle before he goes. I don't want to miss out on the free sample. So here's what ours is going to look like when we get our table, okay? Here it is. Now it's just a mock-up. It can be different. You artists will take it over. But what does it say?
Unity.
Turn in, tap into the loving presence of the divine.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Unity. Tune in, turn on, tap into the loving presence of the divine. And then in very small print, a non-condemnational church. And then it's symbol of all the world's religions. Now that's something I can take a sip of, right, and feel really good about and embody in my life, right? The difference between stepping forward and getting the whole truth and nothing but the truth and living in a lie requires that you take action and not be afraid. What would have happened if I didn't step into that office and ask him the question? I would have left steaming with judgments and condemnations, and I'm going to write letters, and I'm going to talk to the senator, and blah, 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 and it all would have been wrong, 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 wrong. I'm so glad I stepped out of my comfort zone and stepped into my power, because the truth shall set you free. And that which is false needs to be addressed and looked at and faced. Every one of us is being called forth to do that, right here and now. My very favorite crazy woman, Dorothy Pearson. How many know of Dorothy Pearson? Okay, not many people here do, but she was every bit as powerful in the Unity movement as Myrtle Fillmore. She was literally, in many ways, the other mother of the movement of Unity. She died at 97 years old, and she was one of the most amazing affirmation persons I know. When you did a meditation with her, she just grabbed you at the heart. But she was also, as a personality, a complete nut and crazy woman. She was very human, yes, but incredibly filled with the Spirit. So she made her transition. And one of my favorite quotes from her was this: I am in the flow of I don't know, but God does. Say that with me. I am in the flow of I don't know, but God does. Say it again. I am in the flow of I don't know, but God does. The sign of the cross, in the name of salvation and freedom and integration, offer myself to the teachings that are presenting each of us in this moment a chance to bring heaven on earth. Practice well and practice deeply. It's not just for yourself, but for the benefit of all beings. Namaste.